Erikson's 8 Stages of Psychosocial Development, presentation by Tiffany Lewis. Stage 1 is trust versus mistrust, which happens between birth and 18 months. The goal is to develop a basic trust in the world, whether it's to trust others or a sense of their own trustworthiness. A maternal figure is usually the first person in an infant's world, and the infant trusts the mother to feed it and take care of it. If the mother does not, the infant will lose trust. Stage 2, autonomy versus doubt, happens from 18 months to 3 years. The child develops independence and slowly tries to depend less on their parent. They desire to hold on and let go, and parents will allow their child to explore freely but continue to provide a guiding hand. And if a parent does not allow the child to be independent, the child will feel powerless and doubt themselves. This slide and the next slide are very important because as future elementary educators, these are the stages that we will experience the most in our careers. Stage 3 is initiative versus guilt. The child develops a sense of initiative, and being punished for their initiative will make them feel guilty. We can apply this in the classroom by allowing students to make choices and act upon them. Provide a portion of the day when students can choose their activities or books. You can break instruction down into smaller steps because it will encourage students to take risks. And always make sure competitive games have well-balanced teams. For example, if a certain team always loses a math game, they will begin to start thinking that they are bad at math when that is not the case. Stage 4 is industry versus inferiority, and it happens between 6 to 12 years old. This is when the child enters school, and peer and teacher influence becomes very important as the parents' influence decreases in their lives. Success will bring them industry, and failure will bring them inferiority. You can apply this in the classroom by allowing students to set realistic goals for themselves, teaching students time management strategies to help achieve their goals. Don't collect all aspects of a project at once. You can break their projects down into like a brainstorming paper, and then like a week later accept a rough draft, and then a week after that a rough draft, or a final draft, excuse me. And then also teach students study skills and provide positive feedbacks to students. Stage 5 is identity versus role confusion. This happens from 12 to 18 years. This is when teens turn away from their parents and turn toward their peer group. They experience with occupational, sexual, and educational roles, trying to figure out who they are. Stage 6 is intimacy versus isolation, which happens in young adulthood. Once the young adult knows who they are and where they are going with life, they are ready to share it with someone else. If they decide not to, they may feel a sense of isolation. Stage 7 is generativity versus self-absorption. People wish to guide the next generation by becoming parents or teachers or counselors, etc. And they, as themselves, continue to grow, and people who don't wish to do this become self-indulged. And finally, stage 8 is integrity versus despair. This happens in late adulthood when people look back on their lives at their accomplishments, failures, etc., and they accept them. When they accept them, it brings them integrity, and those who have regretted the way they have lived their lives experience despair. And here's my works cited page. I was unable to provide any history about Erikson, but if you would like to, it is the second reference here. But other than that, that's my presentation. Thank you.